Good afternoon, everyone. The flood fight continues for much of the valley, and our team here at Valley News Live has been working all day to bring you the latest from all around the region. In Valley City, they've been in a race with the floodwaters, and so far they've been able to remain one step ahead. The mayor there says they scrambled all weekend to protect the town from the Cheyenne River, which rose much faster than anticipated. The city declared a flood emergency and started building flood walls. Temporary levees are also being built. Those are expected to be finished tomorrow as the Cheyenne continues to rise throughout the week. Floodwaters are knocking on the doorstep of a longtime staple in Mayville. Take a look at this photo from the pizza shop along 2nd Avenue Southwest. The owners tell us they flooded in years past, but they remain closed as they continue to monitor the situation. And a bit of good news out of Crookston today. The Red Lake River has crested 27.7 feet, which is the third highest ever on record. Sandbags are in place to protect homes. The Crookston Sports Center has been set up as a makeshift shelter for people who need a safe, warm place to go. City officials say the river is slowly going down and emergency management will continue operations 24/7 until the river falls below 20 feet, which could take until Thursday. We also have teams in Fisher, Drayton, Grand Forks, and Oslo. Stick with Valley News Live all throughout the evening for the latest on the flood fight. Now, the all-important piece, the forecast. Hutch joins us now with the latest on a couple hot spots. Hutch.
Stacey, thanks so much, and a happy Monday, everyone. A lot of rain working its way through our river systems, both the tributaries and the main stem red, as we take a look at a couple of those hot spots. As Stacey did mention, there has been a crest for now at the Crookston area as on its way down. That is the good news. A little bit of bright light there at the very long weekend that we've had. That water is going to be banking its way through now Grand Forks and on to Oslo, where it looks like there will still be potential for a near record crest in the Oslo area. Notice how prolonged that river stays high all the way through the weekend. North of Grand Forks, Oslo, a trouble spot indeed. Now, another trouble spot we're keeping our eyes on is the Cheyenne River at Valley City. Notice it's been falling back just a little bit. Good news there, but we're expected to see more water work its way down through the system as we go through the weekend. We'll have much more on that forecast, which does include some more rain. Right now we look in at the Red River in the Fargo area. A few snow showers northwest Minnesota. Clearing skies out to the west means colder temperatures, and areas with fresh snow in the north central portion of North Dakota will be quite cold tonight. Temperatures in the 20s as we go through the late day. Here's a look at your planner for Fargo. We will see temperatures slipping down into those 20s tonight. A fair amount of cloud cover. Valley and points east with some clear skies out to the west. Grand Forks expect temperatures to be very crisp, and those wet roads remain icy with 20s. Here's what we're watching. Moderate to major flooding as we go right through the weekend. So even though some will see rivers retreating, well, it's going to be a great concern. Most of those concerns are in the Cheyenne River Basin and points north along the main stem red and its tributaries. There is more rain in the forecast, and it could be significant for the weekend ahead. Our unsettled weather pattern continues. Stacey, coming up in a bit, we'll go over some of those concerns in your forecast, which includes first alert weather days for Friday and Saturday, thanks to the anticipated rainfall. More in a minute.
All right. Thanks so much, Hutch. Breaking news here at 4. North Dakota's longest serving state senator announced today he will resign following a report that he traded scores of text messages with a man jailed on child porn charges. Republican Ray Holmberg, who rose to become one of the state's most powerful lawmakers in a career that spanned 46 years, said he would resign effective June 1st. His term was scheduled to end on November 30th, and he had already announced that it would be his last. Governor Doug Burgum said in a statement he supports Senator Holmberg's decision to resign. The Moorhead man accused of stabbing a woman multiple times is pleading guilty. Juan Pablo Brown is charged with second-degree attempted murder with intent. It happened last January. Police say they found a woman lying face down with blood on the floor and what appeared to be multiple stab wounds to her back. The victim says Brown came to her apartment the day before the stabbing, very intoxicated, and accused her of cheating. Then the next day, court documents state she refused to give him money. That's when he attacked her. Brown is set to be sentenced on June 6th. America's top diplomat and the head of the Pentagon spent about 3 hours in Ukraine this weekend meeting with top generals and diplomats. It's the first high-level American visit to the capital since the war began. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin are the highest-ranking Americans to visit Ukraine since Russian forces invaded 2 months ago. Following their meeting with President Zelensky and his staff, Defense Secretary Austin praised Ukraine's efforts to defeat Russia.
They can win if they have the right equipment, the right support. We want to see Russia weakened to the degree that it can't do the kinds of things that it has done in invading Ukraine.
The Americans told the Ukrainians they're pledging more than $700 million in new military and financial support, and they announced President Biden is nominating Bridget Brink, the current U.S. ambassador to Slovakia, to be the next ambassador to Ukraine. Starting today, U.S. citizens and organizations can apply to sponsor Ukrainian refugees through the federal government. The Uniting for Ukraine program promises to streamline applications. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports.
Bombs falling near their home in Bucha sent the Serbiakova family fleeing from Ukraine shortly after the war started.
Kids killing, women killing. It's real people, it's real families.
Anastasia Serbiakova, her husband Sergei, and their 3 children are now settling into a new life in Weston, Florida, hosted by Angelina and Rabbi Adam Watstein and their 3 children. In recent weeks, the Watsteins have found homes for more than 50 Ukrainians, most of whom arrived on the Mexican border.
The world turned its back on the Jewish people when they needed the world most. And my wife and I pledged that we would never allow something like that to happen again.
The Biden administration is launching Uniting for Ukraine to make it easier for refugees to connect with sponsors and host families in the U.S.
We certainly anticipate lots of interest on both sides.
U.S. sponsors have to pass a security background check and show they can financially support the refugees. The program is designed to help Ukrainians come directly from Europe while shutting down the path from northern Mexico. Some refugee advocacy groups say the program is not enough.
Our concern is that this program is temporary, and as much as refugees are going to want to go home, they may not be able to go home. So the question is, what happens then?
But for the families who made it here, there's immense gratitude.
So many thanks from my heart now.
The Watsteins say they'll continue finding homes for more refugees. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
Most of the refugees admitted into the U.S. and placed with a family member or organization will receive 2 years of residence and permission to work. The White House says there's now plenty of the COVID-19 treatment Paxlovid in the nation's stockpile. The administration says the current supply is enough for 20 million people. The drug is meant to be taken within 5 days of COVID symptoms and is said to lead to 90% fewer hospitalizations and deaths for patients who are most at risk. The first all-private astronaut crew to fly on the International Space Station has completed its mission. The 4 private citizens representing Houston-based Axiom Space splashed down off the Florida coast after more than 2 weeks in space. The picture-perfect landing followed 240 orbits around Earth and 6.3 million miles. The 4-man team blasted off from Kennedy Space Center April 8th for what was supposed to be an 8-day mission. Bad weather extended the trip to 17 days.
Welcome back to planet Earth. We hope you enjoyed the extra few days in space.
Within an hour of touching down, the world's newest private astronauts were walking their way back to life on Earth. It's the first time a completely private crew has flown to the International Space Station. SpaceX, founded by Tesla CEO Elon Musk, is contracted to fly 3 more missions to the ISS over the next 2 years. In other Elon Musk news, Twitter announced it has accepted an offer from the billionaire to buy the company and take it private for $44 billion. Twitter's 11-member board reportedly met yesterday to discuss his proposal to buy the social media giant. Twitter shares opened this morning 6% higher following word of the potential deal. The deal is expected to close in 2022. It's subject to the approval of stockholders and regulators. Legacy Toys at West Acres Mall put a call out to the public to help get a giraffe back that was stolen from the store. 3 people were caught on video taking a large stuffed animal which greets guests at the door of the toy store. Fargo police say that giraffe is valued at $1,200, which would classify this theft as a felony level crime. One of the 3 was also seen dragging a big stuffed unicorn out of the store as the trio ran away. Now, several people are reported seeing the giraffe in various places all around town this weekend. Legacy Toys is asking anyone with information to contact Fargo police.